What has sitting done to the human race? I'm out here in my garden with the only wheelchair that I ever want to have in my life. It's a beautiful gift from a friend. Interesting thing about this chair, this wheelchair, I've never sat in it. I don't sit down. My two positions is upright, moving around, or lying down and sleeping. If I have to go in the car, I stop about every 10, 15 minutes to move around because I hate sitting down. I'm sharing that with you because is it possible that sitting has created for the human race more challenges than drugs, smoking, crappy food, wars, horrible natural disasters? Because when you sit down, you take out the biggest muscles in your body becomes inactive, you put yourself into a position that the body's not meant to be in, and everything slows down. I'm sure you've heard if you use it, you lose it. And it seems that the human race, we've lost it because we sit down so much. And not only do we sit down, but we sit down inside. So there's no fresh air. We use air-conditioned air and temperature-controlled air. So we don't get hot and cold anymore. We stay at the right temperature. Then we sit down on our backside and take out the biggest muscles in our body, so our body does nothing. And then that's artificial light. There's no sunlight. Even the windows in our homes now are designed not to let the sunlight in. The lights that we put into the ceiling of our homes are designed not to give us what the sun could give us. The normal incandescent light bulb is much, much healthier than most of the lighting that we have now. So our whole life as humans, mine not, I don't live my life like this, and I'm very passionate about this. I'm a rural woman in New Zealand. I spend a lot of time outside. Today's freezing cold and it's windy and I'm still outside. People say, oh, Ray, it's not a very nice day because it's going to be raining, and it's not a very nice day because it's cloudy. I'm outside because I know that the sun is above the clouds, and I definitely won't be sitting down. I don't sit down. Once I get up in the morning, I don't sit down again until I go to bed at night. Now, if I have to sit in a car, because we've got 2 martial arts clubs and we have to drive to those, I'm sharing again that experience is not good. I get out of the car and my body has told me, why did you sit down? Have you ever experienced that, where you get up from the sitting position and you feel stiff and you feel tired and you feel sore and your body doesn't work properly, and it doesn't feel good again until you get moving around? Well, that's why I live my life in the upright position. But it's interesting because a lot of studies now are being done. There's a lot of people like me who don't like to sit down. Some of them are scientists, and they're studying what happens to the human body when it sits down. And if you follow up on that research, you could go to ChatGPT, you could go to any kind of AI program, you could go to Google and say, what happens to my body if I sit down? And the answer is, well, the research shows this. You're fatter, sicker, weaker, more diseased, more depressed. You've got more chance of all the horrible diseases. That's why sitting is such a bad thing. So sit makes you shit. And I don't apologise for saying that, because the human race is literally fatter, sicker and weaker and more diseased than it's ever been. Why has that happened? What's happened to our whole process of moving our body? We don't move anymore. We sit in the car, we sit at the lounge room, on the lounge, and watch television. We sit in the dining room table, we sit on the bus, we sit on the plane, we sit in school, we sit in the office, we sit all the time. Now, I don't even like to travel. I don't like to fly anymore because I hate the process of you have to sit down when you're on the plane. I always get an aisle seat and make sure that I can stand up as soon as that bell goes, so I'm not sitting on my backside. Deep vein thrombosis is a horrible thing that happens when you sit down for too long. You get blood clots. One of the most exciting things for me, because I've had really big calf muscles all of my life, just a fun story. I was on the beach one day on the Gold Coast in Australia, and a young child said to his mother, "Mummy, look at that lady with the boy's legs," because I've always had really big calf muscles. Now, I've always loved my big calf muscles, because for me, big muscles means that you can eat more food because you've got a faster metabolism. So I figured that big calf muscles means I can eat more chocolate. But what I really love about the calf muscle in particular, the gastrocnemius soleus, is that the calf muscles are literally a pump at the bottom of your body to get blood flow back to your heart. So that's why most people that sit down, and it's not just a tiny number of people, a large number of people that sit on their backside all the time are more likely to have a heart attack, a myocardial infarction, because that pump that gets blood back to your heart, the calf muscle that when you walk around literally pumps blood back to your heart, if you don't use it, you lose it. So if you sit down all the time, your calf muscles aren't being used, the blood, you get get deep vein thrombosis, which is blood clotting at the bottom of your body, and you don't get blood back to your heart, which means you have a heart attack. That's a very simple explanation for what happens when you sit down for too long. I don't want to have a heart attack. I don't want to be fat. I don't want to have a body that doesn't burn up glucose, sugar. There's a big thing about sugar makes you fat. Well, it does if you don't burn it up. Sugar is unhealthy running around in your bloodstream if you don't burn it up. But something as simple as, and I have a walking desk, I don't sit down ever. And some days I work for 8 hours, 9 hours, 10 hours at a time at my desk, but I don't sit down, I'm walking the whole time. Talk about 10,000 steps. Some days I can do 40, 50,000 steps because I'm moving all the time. But if you are sitting down, your brain doesn't work very well. If you're sitting down, your muscles aren't being used. If you're sitting down, you don't burn up the blood sugar, the glucose that runs around in your bloodstream. If insulin doesn't put it into your muscles as glycogen, or into your liver as glycogen, or into your brain as glucose, those big sugar molecules running around in your bloodstream bangs against your arteries, bangs against your hoses, as I call them, causes damage inside your arteries. If cholesterol sticks to that, that's more likely now to have heart attack, type 2 diabetes, stroke, cancer. The horrible diseases that are killing us are caused by inactivity, by sitting on our backside. Now, I'm going to go a bit further because I'm an old lady, and I want people to be healthy, fit and strong, especially our kids. I can't control what adults do, so I really can't care that adults want to sit on their backside. But I don't want kids sitting down, because kids that sit down all the time are more likely to have those horrible diseases as young children, which is what we've got now. We've got kids with coronary heart disease, type 2 diabetes, osteoporosis, depression, horrible cancers, because the kids are sitting down all the time. If you don't burn up the sugar in your arteries, that causes damage, which then causes type 2 diabetes, coronary heart disease, osteoporosis, stroke, cancer, depression. I'm going to keep saying that because there's such horrible things to consider when it can be cured, prevented so easily. Get off your backside and move around. Don't sit down all the time. Why do we have chairs in schools? I heard a great quote just recently that the challenge with the health of the human race now is not to do with food, it's to do with furniture. We've created furniture that sat us on our backside, and it's not just at home relaxing in the evening. We sit at the office, we sit in school, we sit at a conference, we sit, and that's why we're in such shit shape. How about we get off our backside? I've lobbied the government of many countries that kids shouldn't be sitting down in school, and wouldn't it be nice if every kid had a tread desk to walk on at school rather than sitting on their backside? And I hear parents and teachers say this all the time: sit down and be quiet, stop running around. And I'm in the background going, keep running around, stop sitting down. Sitting is the worst thing you can do for your body. Just standing in the upright position, even if you don't have a tread desk. If you stand, a lot of people go, I can't stand, I get tired. The reason you get tired is because your muscles are so weak. If you stay in the upright position, you burn more calories, you have a faster metabolism, your body has to work harder just to hold you in the upright position. That's why you get tired. If you are standing and you get tired, it's because you've got weak muscles, because you're so used to sitting down. So wouldn't it be nice, and what a simple change to make. If I was lobbying the government, which I do on a regular basis, if I was part of the government, my big thing would be get off your ass. Don't sit down. If you sit down for any longer, when I say we've got one chair at our house, my husband comes home after teaching martial arts for several hours, and we have one chair, he sits on his red chair and he has a glass of wine and relaxes, and then he's off again. If you sit for a short period of time, no challenge. But once you start sitting for an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours, 4 hours, 5 hours, the human body just shuts down. And then it gets used to being shut down. So then when you get up to move around, you feel tired. And when you feel tired, you want to sit down. So that just creates a downward spiral. I don't want that for our kids. I don't want that for our future world. I want to be a healthy, fit, strong woman. And that's why and it's so funny because kids say to me, do you want to sit down? I say no. I don't sit down. I just literally don't sit down unless I'm in the car. And even when I'm in the car, I stop on a regular basis and I run around the car park, or I do jump squats, or I sprint on the spot to get the blood flowing again, because I don't want to have a body that gets used to sitting, because sitting makes you shitting. It doesn't rhyme, but I don't care. Get off your backside, live your life to the max. And this, yes, is my wheelchair in my garden, but I've never sat on it. I love it. It's a great piece of art, but I would never sit my ass on that chair. Live your life to the max and stop sitting. Woohoo!